Elizabeth, you mentioned something, the word tradition, in your
Yeah.
talking about the pandemic. And I must add, when I walk through the halls, I look at everything the sisters started and that we carried on, and it's all still here. The tradition that follows through here is absolutely amazing, and I think that says it all, and that's certainly a tribute to Mrs. Bricka and Mrs. Grimaldi
And
who
and
followed
that
us.
also that it gives these families
Yes. Mhm.
connection, and it gives these children connection
Mhm.
to be nice to one another,
Mhm.
To share
to
stories.
share stories,
Absolutely.
and that's what school is all about.
Mhm. I don't think a week goes by that I don't run into somebody somewhere who taps me on the shoulder and says, "Aren't you Mrs. Quintino?" And it's either a student or a parent. And they always have wonderful things to say. And so that says it all to me.
It's because when you walk in here, you know it's a Catholic school.
Oh, there's no
yes.
question.
Not just an excellent school.
No.
No.
You know it's a Catholic
Catholic
school.
school.
Correct.
Always, there's religion on the walls,
Everywhere.
and kids are absorbing that.
And they're focused on it too. They are.
And I think we're living in a world where parents want that more and more for their children. But, you know, you go through sacraments with students, you go through every graduation, every one of them are special.
I especially enjoy the retreat day.
Yes,
I love the
me
retreat
too.
day. When I first came here,
Yes.
I was filled in. My assistant principal, Chris Bendish, had said to me, "The children walk in silently, and they're silent all day long." And I said, "No, come on, that can't be." And I was shocked
It's
because
true.
it's true. They walk in. There's beautiful music playing on the loudspeaker.
That's right.
And it's just a day of reverence and respect, and it's a beautiful day. So I do love the retreat day.
Because we expect them to
Right.
walk in quietly,
Yes,
and,
they-
you know, if
they
we
are.
have expectations, they will
Right, and they
follow
live up to
through.
those expectations.
Yeah.
I love the variety show too. The
Ah.
variety show is a lot of fun.
Well, some of
And
it.
doing the
is-
faculty number at the
Many-
variety
oh, the
show.
faculty,
Yeah.
we always
Yes,
did,
we
we
always
always
did
did a
Faculty,
faculty, yes,
That's
yeah,
a lot
I
of fun.
remember them, I can
That's a
tell
lot
you
of
each
fun.
one we did.
Hysterical.
I always remember the students that made me laugh, that had a good sense of humor, that they're just fun to be around.
Yeah.
And I just love when our students receive First Holy Communion,
Oh,
and I watch them approach the
Oh, my
altar, and you
goodness.
see for the first time, and I get very emotional when I see that,
Yes.
because I know they have a lifetime ahead of them of
mhm.
growing closer
Mhm.
to the Lord, and it's always just such a beautiful moment. So I tend to remember those students. I look at their faces and try to capture that in my mind, and that sticks with me, because it's
Mhm.
just a beautiful moment for them, and they probably don't realize it at the time because they're in second
Well, they're
grade.
seventh,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
So, but
You know.
you just know what's coming, and it's a beautiful thing.
I always liked in the morning, standing as they came in. I enjoyed that. They'd say
Mhm.
hello, whatever, and
Yeah.
and it would just, it made your day begin
mhm.
happy. Because if something happened at home or something
Mhm.
happened, you could, you've got to forget that stuff.
Oh, you leave it at the door,
Yeah.
you leave it at
You
home,
have to
because
leave
you
it.
have to be there to greet them and be
And be
cheery
happy.
and happy,
And they made you
yes,
happy.
they did.
They
They did. They do. They
Well, you
do.
mentioned laughter.
Yeah.
They continue to say to me, "We had fun," and if you don't have fun with what you're doing,
Right.
you know, we enjoyed it. We had a good time, and that's important to enjoy.
And they enjoyed it.
Oh yeah.
When we had the races outside, and we did ran
Oh, the race for education.
race for
Yeah, 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 we
education.
ran
and
around.
we ran around, and then we got hit with the hurricane.
Did we on one of the days? I didn't
Yes.
remember. And then we had a
Yeah.
picnic, and it rained, so we had the picnic in the gym.
Yeah.
I think that was Father Bill's farewell, and it was a
Yeah.
picnic outside. So we did a picnic in the gym, and we just did,
You just did
what
it.
we had
and,
to do.
And the kids all,
yeah, rallied
great.
around.
yeah.
They all rallied around.
Yeah, sometimes kids just do something that you are surprised at.
Mm-hmm.
I can still remember my classroom was right down the hallway, and we were doing me posters, and that
Me,
meant
M-E?
me, M-E,
Oh.
and that meant they were to it's part of a guidance class I was doing, and they had to do a collage explaining who they are, what they wanted to do, and I still remember we had done some, and the girl stood up, and she explained her poster. unlike anyone else had ever done it, any better than I would have done it. And when she finished explaining that she was either going to be a psychologist or a missionary in India,
Wow.
they all
Wow.
clapped.
Wow.
They had never clapped for each other beforehand, but they recognized
Mhm.
in her
Mhm.
something,
Mhm.
and she's gone on to be a very special person. But it was the rest of the class that amazed me as much as what she said.
Mhm.
Um, So there's moments that and I haven't thought about that in years.
Yeah, but you do,
yeah,
but
that's a
every
nice
once in a
memory.
while, a
Yeah.
little
Oh,
spark.
yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
when the
yes.
questions
For
asked.
Or you
sure.
see somebody, or,
Or you see them, they're so quiet in school, and then they get up on stage
On
with
the
a drama
stage.
production.
Oh,
And you're like, where has that person been?
yeah,
Right.
absolutely,
right, yeah.
absolutely.
The plays were great.
And there's something for everybody. There's plays, there's band, there's sports for there's really something for everybody.
That's 'cause
Or
it's-
if there isn't, we find
We
something.
find
Right.
it.
Yeah, you do, you get them into something.